Hello, everyone. We're just going to wait a few moments before we begin, just to allow everyone to join and get comfortable. Okay, I can see the numbers slowly trickling in. I'm just going to give it another few seconds before I get started. Okay, so I'm just going to kick off the webinar now. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for dialing in. My name is Haifa Khatib. I am a marketing assistant here at InfoTrack. Welcome to today's webinar, which is with LMS. This webinar is on supplier collaboration, driving efficiency within the sector. Joining us today on today's webinar will be Travis Scholes, Commercial Director at LMS, and Mike Lehman, Managing Partner at Bell Lam & Johnson, as well as Annabella Barker, Product Manager at InfoTrack. Before we begin the webinar, I would like to draw your attention to the Q&A tab, which is located at the bottom of your screen. We will be running a Q&A at the end of the session, so please type any questions you might have for everyone on the panel into the Q&A box. That way, if we run out of time or if your question requires further clarification, we can extract your information and follow up with you directly after the webinar. I'm now going to hand you over to Travis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Haifa. Appreciate that. Thank you to Mike. For those who saw my LinkedIn post, I did promise a special guest, Mike Lehman. I hope everyone's not disappointed. I think Bell Lam & Johnson were third in the Digital Conveyancing Index summary that came out from InfoTrack a couple of weeks ago, and are nominated for a massive 5 awards at Modern Law Awards in a couple of weeks' time. So, Mike, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, supply collaboration. So I think I'll talk a little bit today about LMS. I'll talk a little bit about what we've built with InfoTrack and our plans moving forward. But really, this is a conversation as much as about my learning as what we want to kind of share with you guys today. The Q&A tab that Haifa pointed out is going to be really, really important to this conversation. I don't want to be speaking at you guys for half an hour, 45 minutes. What I want to be doing is taking you through our journey to date, what we've built. We've got Annabella here who will be providing a demonstration of some of the products and services we've collaborated on to deliver to law firms. But after that, really, I do want to have an open discussion with people, the participants on this call about what they want LMS and InfoTrack to be building next, what they want as a sector for us to be building next as a set of suppliers, and more importantly, I guess, what your plans are for 2023. You know, what things are bothering, what things are you worried about, what things do you drastically and quickly need to improve, so we can take that away as suppliers and start building new products and services that suit well for you. Okay, let's talk about supply collaboration and how it's driving efficiency in the sector. So LMS over the last 2 or 3 years have really been trying to change our tact and look about how we go about things in the sector to improve the way law firms access our products and services. And along that journey, we've had a great relationship with InfoTrack about providing new products and services. But really, the main aim of the goal is to really provide services that improve the way you guys access third-party applications and third-party services. And today we're going to go through how that works, what we've done so far, and what we're moving forward to. Our goal as suppliers is not to change the conveyancing process. Our goal as suppliers is to ensure that when you need to buy in third-party products, that it's done in the most effective way possible, that it creates efficiency within your platforms, within your ecosystems. Even now, even with the last 2 or 3 years, there's been so much development of products and services in the space. You know, even now, there's still huge levels of duplication. There's still huge levels of phone calls and emails and posts and all those things coming into law firms that take law firms away from the work that they should be doing, the complicated legal work that, you know, LMS aren't here to change. LMS are here to support. InfoTrack in the same vein. All we want to do is help you guys be as efficient as you possibly can be moving forward. And with that, and with suppliers, there's been a hell of a lot of new suppliers entering the space. You know, some are bringing new technology into the space, and it's becoming a jungle out there. You know, law firms are being sold to every single day. So we'll talk through about how suppliers collaborating together can add benefit, reduce risk, and definitely improve efficiency in your law firm. So, Haifa, you want to go to the next page for us? Cool. So a quick one about LMS. I won't harp on this too long, really, but over the last 4 or 5 years, LMS has really changed tact. I think everyone on this call and everyone knows LMS from old would have seen us as a very lender. But over the last 4 or 5 years, we really have changed culturally and physically in terms of who we want to be and how we want to approach the industry. We really do want to be leading the way that conveyances access products and services by collaborating with suppliers and providing a single entry point for all products and services into the space. So we'll go through the kind of how the space developed in a few slides time, but ultimately LMS have had to change everything about our organization. So we were very much a shirt and tie organization, and we moved into this LMS agile, what we call LMS agile journey. The reason being for that is the most important thing to learn about collaboration, and the most important lesson I've learned over the last few years is there's never a right time to collaborate as a supplier. You've got your own roadmaps, you've got your own things you want to achieve, and everyone's working at different paces. But until you actually stop and put your ego aside a little bit and go, right, what's the best thing for our customer? That's the only way collaboration actually works and actually moves on at pace. And for LMS, who had a monolithic backlog of work, we were very slow to adapt as an organization. Unless we moved to an agile way of working where we could adapt quite quickly to the needs of our customers, adapt quite quickly to the needs of an InfoTrack, for instance, who are very quick to roll out new products and services, we were going to struggle to be part of that collaboration journey. And as a result, we had to change everything about our organization. And that meant new roles, reskilling of our people. And there's a huge journey that we went on. There's actually a webinar and a podcast related to this LMS Agile journey. If you want to know more about it, I'm sure we can put the link in comments post this journey. But ultimately, the last 2 or 3 years, LMS has changed everything about us because we want to be part of that agile journey. We want to be part of that collaboration. But more importantly, I guess from our point of view is we don't want to be on the cold face of it. We don't have to be on the cold face of it. Law firms have an ecosystem that and trusted suppliers that they work with every day. You've got your CMS platform, you've got the likes of InfoTrack and other third-party suppliers that you work with. You don't need LMS to be on the cold face of it. You don't need to be accessing conveyancer zone. You don't need to be talking to LMS every day. What you want is the data that you require from LMS and you're required to give to LMS to be available to push and pull through your CMS platform throughout that trusted network. And LMS have realized that, going, actually, our job here is not to create you a really nice portal for you to access, but to sit and become the plumbing that pulls the transaction together, to work with the likes of InfoTrack, to work with your CMS integration and your CMS partners to provide the products and services that you guys require from us in a way where you're not talking to us directly. And that's really important. And that's where the InfoTrack integration came along. So a huge credit to InfoTrack. One of the great things that they've done over the last 2 or 3 years really is built integrations with multiple CMS providers. And as a result, you guys can access multiple products and services from a singular point of entry. And that creates so much efficiency within itself. LMS, wanted to do the same thing. We wanted to create, you guys, direct API links to your CMS platforms, direct API links into you guys. And what we found was adoption was really difficult. That either law firms were, a little bit smaller and didn't have the internal resources to build out APIs directly, or the CMS platforms and providers that they were working with weren't ready to integrate with us. They had their own roadmap of work they wanted to achieve, and the integration with LMS just wasn't high enough on their list. So as a result, and back to my original point around collaboration never being the right time, we couldn't move it at the pace we wanted to move at to get access and give you guys our products and services directly into your CMS. But then came along InfoTrack, and it was literally over a single conversation with Scott, CEO, and Annabella that we said, look, we've got all this information that law firms need. You guys have already got a great integration with them. Why don't we work together and create a seamless traffic of data backwards and forwards between us to InfoTrack to the law firm through that CMS integration and all the way back to LMS again. And some of the simple products like mortgage offer distribution and charge registration, the stuff that Annabella is going to be demonstrating later on for you, were off the back of a single conversation where two organizations wanted to better, create a better environment for the law firms they were working with, and just put everything else aside for a period of time and just built some really simple and straightforward stuff. But the benefits for those integrations were immense. But that couldn't have happened without two suppliers working together, without any major commercial benefit, but really for the benefit of the end user, being the law firms on this call. Let's on to the next slide for us, please. Cool. So just before we go any further, I just want to draw your attention to the Q&A section again. it's really, really important. The last half of this webinar, really, we want to be answering your calls. Mike's along here to represent law firms. We've got Annabella here and myself, really. We want to be talking about some of the problems facing you guys in 2023, or some of the products and services that you guys need us to invest in to make things better. So any questions that you do have, any comments you want to make, any products you want us to be considering or you want us to improve, now's your chance. In the next 10 or 15 minutes, where we go through the rest of my presentation and Annabella's demonstration, get your questions in. Put your comments in, and we'll aim to get through as many of them in the last 15 or 20 minutes of this webinar as possible. On to the next, please, Hafer. Cool. So what's the need to collaborate? I think it's pretty straightforward. So law firms doing who you use, what CMS partner you use, whatever ecosystem and trusted network that you guys have. It's up to us as a group of suppliers to provide you as much data into that single point as humanly possible. Suppliers have all experts in individual elements of the process. They all do really, really good stuff. The technology is really, really good. And you could argue probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago, there wasn't enough technology in the conveyancing space. That we had new people emerging, we had new products and services becoming available, but ultimately there wasn't enough third party, there wasn't enough competition in the space to really create that innovation and drive that efficiency into law firms. Over the last 2 years, my personal opinion from the law firms I was speaking to, that's changed. Technology is now abundant. It's there, it's available. There's more suppliers entering the space every single day. You could argue the opposite is now true. There's too much supply of certain products and services. Things like ID and AML have become commoditized to a point where I think every week there's a new ID AML supplier out there on the market. But ultimately, without those suppliers all working together to create a single entry point and a single point of access for all those products and services, we're not delivering the main services that you guys want us to deliver. We were not creating the most level of efficiency that we're trying to deliver. And as a result, I don't think we're doing a justice to the products and services and technologies available. So unless our suppliers get together and work together and put that ego aside and create a trusted framework inside your ecosystem, we are missing out on 30–40% of that efficiency that we can gain through the technology. But in order to do that, it requires an industry-wide change. And I think where LMS sits in the market, we're taking some responsibility over doing that. And we're working with the likes of InfoTrack and all those type of things to make as many products and services accessible as humanly possible without the law firm having to invest in huge levels of IT development, huge levels of cost and huge levels of resource. And we do that through working together. But ultimately, we also prioritize that work based on feedback from law firms. So it's very, very important that we hear from you guys quite regularly about what we should be doing, what's the most important thing, what's going to drive the most efficiency, and what's causing you the most risk. And as a group of suppliers, we will then prioritize that work and go and build products and services directly into your CMS, directly into your trusted ecosystem to deliver a new level of efficiency, a new level of reduced risk for you to make things better. You look at the law firm landscape, and I think, if you take from LMS's point of view, we've had about a 7% reduction in people on the LMS panel over the last 2 years. That's because of law firms closing down. That's because law firms not being competitive, law firms not embracing change or embracing technology. As a result, the number of law firms and the capacity in the space is reducing at a time where we've been the busiest we've been in this industry for the last 2 years. And I think we've got a responsibility here, whether you're the smallest law firm in the country or the biggest law firm, to ensure that everyone's got access to these products that create efficiency and drive technology and drive innovation and drive automation. And the LMS is where we sit in the market. We've got a responsibility to what we call level up, ensuring that we make adoption as easy as possible for any law firm, whether it be one-man band or at a high street or one of these volume conveyances out there in the market. We've got to make sure that we find a way to build technology that's really, really easy to adapt, really easy to adopt, and is available through that trusted network. And we'll do that by collaborating with as many third-party suppliers as you possibly can do. And the brilliance of working with a company like InfoTrack is they always are the first to market. They're the first to trial and test our new products and services. They're the first to give us feedback. And as a result, if you're an InfoTrack customer and you're on this webinar right now, you are going to be the first to access these products and services, whether it be from LMS or one of the other suppliers out in the market. InfoTrack continue to lead the way in adoption, and it's something that they really should be proud of. Next slide for me, please, Hafer. Cool. So what do we need to do? First of all, we need to engage with you guys. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of panels, and a lot of things that happen in this space, but are we getting to the root cause of your problems? Are we understanding what you guys need us to do next? Are we prioritizing effectively? As I sit here today, I think there's one of 100 things we could do for law firms next year. I don't know which one's most important, and really, I don't think I get enough feedback into LMS about the stuff that we should be worrying about, the stuff that we should be doing, and that's something we want to do more of next year. Next year, we'll be doing more of these type of webinars, more roundtables, more ways to collaborate and talk to you guys about how we should be focusing our time and attention. We have dedicated teams of developers and innovators within the LMS space, designing and building new products and services for you, the law firm. And what we really want to know is what we should be doing, what should we be doing next, and what's going to make you the most benefit. And to do that, we need to ask the right questions at the right time and get enough data back in, enough feedback. It's simple as that. And it's something that we're trying to get better at. And I wouldn't say we're great at it yet, but it's certainly something we're getting great at. And the likes of Annabella and the team, where they've got the direct link into law firms, we are getting more and more feedback from those guys all the time. But from my point of view, more and more feedback we have with you guys, more and more information we get from the conveyancer, the absolute better. We also need to harness and drive the data that we've got better. We talk about a network here and a single point of access and this kind of end-to-end conveyancing journey. But where we're at the moment is it's quite simple, that we've got a range of products and services available in a singular place for your CMS platform. But that network of data doesn't get transferred through the way it should do. There's still duplication in the process. We still have these phone calls and emails coming through from brokers and borrowers because they can't get access to the information they want. Now, borrower access has got much better with the likes of Perfect Portal and all these different things that can push updates out to the borrower. But the broker's still left out of that equation a little bit. The lender still needs better updates. And as a result, we're still getting all this noise coming back into law firms that we need to do something better. And last but not least, we need to embrace change, really. I still go out to panels and I still go out and talk to people, and there's still this reluctance to embrace technology, not because of the fear of what technology can do and the efficiency that can bring. It's about how hard it is to adopt and what that means internally into law firm processes. And I'm sure Mike will talk about this more later on. But really, in terms of making technology easy to adopt, looking at the risk it creates within your business, whether it be cyber risk or even reduction of risk based on what process it is, embracing that change, going through a trial process, going through a sign-off process is very, very important. But as suppliers, it's very, very important that we spend our time making the technology as easy to adopt as possible. So that embracing change becomes very, very simple, very, very straightforward from an investment point of view, from a resource point of view. And that's something that we're trying to be better at as well. Next slide, please, Afa. Cool. So if you just click on that a few times for me. So let's just talk about the ecosystem, where we're going and where we're focusing at the moment. So I've kind of alluded to this slightly earlier in the process. In the past, law firms were managing up to 15 different third-party relationships. You had one supplier for your ID, one for email, one for your proof of funds. You had direct link into HMLR. You had back to LMS or lender exchange. All these third parties all over the place. And not only were you guys a law firm, but you're managing these multiple suppliers. You had different portals to access. You request a red stat from a lender was one of 7 different ways, whether it be post, carrier pigeon, portal, whatever it may be. There was no singular way to access products and services, which creates a huge levels of inefficiency in the process. I think we've got a lot better at that as an industry over the last sort of 12 to 18 months in particular. You look at InfoTrack's platform as a good example, where multiple products are now available from a singular touch point, from a singular entry point. And those integrations into your CMS platform makes that nice and simple, makes it nice and easy to use and to adopt to. However, there's still duplication activity. The data being transferred from the lender all the way through to the law firm is still quite poor. Well, I'll take that even further, from the broker all the way through to the law firm is quite poor. And as a result, borrowers are still inputting data 2 or 3 times. Law firms still aren't getting the benefit of all the data collected earlier in the process. And and law firm data out back into lenders, back into brokers. I think it's something we can all improve upon. And as a result, there's still duplication in process, and the data being transferred is still quite poor. You can also argue that although we've limited the amount of third-party suppliers that law firms have to talk to and manage every day, there's still more than one. There's still more than one entry point into a law firm. Not everything's available via the CMS platform right now, and we need to move better. And that's what the future holds for us. My goal at LMS and working with likes of InfoTrack is to create a single point of access for all the products and services that you guys need within your trusted ecosystem. And where that ecosystem is InfoTrack, whether ecosystem is CMS, your CMS platform, or anybody else, our job is to make sure that we provide that connectivity out to the market. So anything you need from LMS, back into the lender, back into the broker, we're providing that plumbing to pull everything together. And that's something we're aiming for, and that's the future of what we're trying to achieve. So at the moment, Annabella is about to take you through what mortgage offer distribution looks like, what the charge registration integration looks like. But that's the start of many other products and services we're going to be making available moving forward to you. You guys will know from a conveyancer's own point of view that you need to download your mortgage offer, upload your fee owner assignment, come to your ECOT. You can use Secure Link now and Red Stats to talk to a lender about post offer queries and things like that. Obviously, you've got to submit your COT and you've got to tell us every 30 days about charge registration stuff that's going on. All that stuff now is available via API, and we're going through a process now of making that stuff available through our trusted network, people like InfoTrack. So hopefully the goal of what LMS decide to do is you won't have to deal with LMS on a day-to-day basis anymore. Anything that you guys need to do to LMS or provide to LMS will be done through your trusted ecosystem and your trusted network. And that is my goal for the future, and that is what I'm looking to achieve. And with that, I'll hand over to Annabella to do a quick demonstration of the products and services that are currently available to you guys through InfoTrack.
Thank you, Travis. Sorry, Haifa, could you just stop the screen share and then thank you. Okay. So this is the InfoTrack platform. Can everyone see that? Yeah, good. Okay, perfect. So I work in the product team here at InfoTrack, and as Travis mentioned, we've been working with LMS to help streamline the process of meeting the lender's requirements through integration. So there are two ways to access InfoTrack, either via the website or through an integration with one of our partners. This is the InfoTrack platform. You've got your dashboards on the left-hand side, your current matters in the middle, and your news and calendar on the right-hand side. So I'm going to run through the products that we've built with LMS to support you meeting your obligations to the lenders, as Travis mentioned, which includes the mortgage offer integration, Confirmly, and the charge registration integration as well. So under mortgage offer integration, all of your offers will be delivered to the InfoTrack platform. So you won't need to log into LMS Conveyancer Zone to download your documents and then upload them into your matter. So when an offer is received, we'll send you a notification email with the details of the lender and the property. And you'll then log into the InfoTrack platform and open the mortgage offers dashboard on the left-hand side where your offers will be shown. And when you click on an offer in the dashboard, you'll see the full offer details on the right-hand side and the documents below. And clicking on the documents will allow you to preview them as well. As I'm accessing through the website, I would enter my matter reference here. But if you do access through a case management system, this will be pre-populated for you. Okay. So it will pull through then any information we have, on that matter. So in this case, we've got the address and we've got the purchaser name, so we can do a cross-check there and make sure that we've selected the right offer for this matter. You'll also assign the case handler, and this will push down to LMS Conveyancer Zone as well, so you don't need to log in separately to do that. So you then simply need to check that this is a match and then tick to confirm and then link to matter. Once linked to the matter, the offer documents will be shown in your matter viewer and in the workflow under existing orders for some additional visibility of your progress. We'll also automate an email to the case handler that you've assigned here to save you from having to notify them that their offer has been received. And if you do access through a case management system, any offer documents will pull down into your case management system automatically for you as well, so you don't need to manually upload those. And then if a revised offer is sent or any further documents are sent, which can often happen, we'll send you another email to notify you, but as you've made that link already between your matter and the LMS case, you won't need to go back in and manually download those documents. We'll just sync them over for you. So you can sign up to this integration via the mortgage offers dashboard. You'll see some registration buttons up here. Okay, so now I will run through Confirmly, which is a search we've recently launched with LMS. So for Confirmly, LMS use their own panel link data to check the firm details, and this is verified as part of their two-stage panel application process. And then once a firm is accepted onto the panel, their details are constantly confirmed through each direct interaction with LMS. So this data is relied upon by lenders, so using it helps to support the risk mitigation required under the core practice management standard and the UK Finance Lenders Handbook as well. And what we found is that many PI companies will actually ask on their renewal forms whether the firm details are independently authorised before transferring money. And the reason for this is because other means of verification, for instance, calling the firm to check their details, have been proven to be insufficient. So Confirm Me is shown under the bank check section of your workflow, under the Lawyer Bank Check header. And requesting the search is simple. You just enter the firm name or the postcode here. I'm going to use the postcode, and then the bank details that they have supplied to you. And then you click Lookup. And this actually does a lookup then of LMS's database to find any matches for your input. Select the matching firm from the list and then click Order. And the result will be returned instantly, and it will clearly state whether it's a match, match with cautions, or no match. The result will show the company name, the trading name, their address, and the bank details that you have provided. Under the risk reducer section, this will also show the date that the firm's details were first added to LMS Panel Link and when they were last changed for some additional reassurance. And then the search will also show any SRA alerts which have been issued for the firm in the past year, and this will add a caution to the result as it may require some further investigation by you. And then the additional information section will provide the contact details that LMS hold for the firm and any regulatory body memberships as well. We've also recently launched our referral service so that if a firm can't be found on LMS's panel, you can request for a manual check to be carried out. I'll just quickly show you how this works. Okay, enter your firm name and postcode as you would usually, and the bank account details. Okay, so you do your lookup, and if the firm can't be found, then you can enter your details using the blank row at the bottom of the list and then click Order. So this will create a referral to LMS who will undertake some further research of the firm, and that will include any panel applications made by the firm and their regulatory body memberships, a check of Companies House, the firm's website, Google Maps and Street View, and a search of SRA scam alerts against the firm. LMS will also attempt to call the firm to confirm their bank account details and will state in the result whether they have been able to do this. Okay, so that's it for Confirm Me. Now I'll run through our charge registration integration. And this enables you to link your OS priority and your AP1s to the LMS case so that the documents will be sent down to LMS for you. So when you open the order page for OS priority, you'll see a LMS case number section. And if you've already linked your offer to the matter, then this case will be pre-selected for you. Otherwise, you can just search in here using the address or the purchaser name. And then click Order. And then what that means is once the priority result is received from Land Registry, we'll pass that document down to LMS and it will be uploaded to the case in Conveyancer Zone automatically for you. So that saves you from having to download the file and manually log into Conveyancer Zone to upload it, and removes any potential delays there as well. And similarly, when you lodge your AP1, towards the bottom of the form, you'll see your link to LMS section that works in the same way. And what that means is, again, we'll pre-select it for you if you've already linked it on that matter. So once Land Registry have received your application and they acknowledge receipt of your application, we'll send the submission receipt to LMS, and that gets uploaded into Conveyancer Zone as the confirmation of application to register, so that they know that you've made that application. Then when the AP1 is complete, we'll also pass the updated register to LMS, and both documents will be uploaded to the case in Conveyancer Zone. And then at this point, if all other required information has been added to the case, then it will be closed automatically on receipt of the new official copy register. So this really helps to avoid any delay in updating the lender and reduce the admin time as well. So you can sign up for both mortgage offer and charge registration integration on the mortgage offer dashboard. And then after signing up, LMS will contact you to confirm that the integration has been activated. So that's it for me. So I will just hand back to Haifa to do our Q&A.
So just quickly, Mike, you've been using these products and services for a while now. I think you were one of the first persons to adopt and test mortgage offer distribution and the ChargeEdge API. Just do you want to let everyone know about what's happened, what the benefits been to your law firm since you've adopted it?
Well, I think you mentioned earlier, Travis, the issue with regard to noise and multiple platforms log into and the inefficiencies that brings. So from our point of view, anything which removes those pinch points is a success, however big or small they may be. So clearly, as that demonstration just shown there, effectively, us being able to automate the process of receiving mortgage offers, and once we've linked to LMS via InfoTrack, then obviously the rest of that process in terms of updating LMS in terms of priorities and AP1s is automated. So it means there's one less task for the team to do, one less headache, one less piece of noise, and that's really, really important in terms of trying to find those efficiencies. We live in a world where clients' expectations, supplier expectations, mortgage brokers, estate agents are constantly producing a lot of noise, a lot of communication traffic, and so anything you can do to reduce some of that noise into the inboxes or into the firm will assist greatly, and it makes it easier for our team and to focus on what really matters, and that's obviously progressing the legal work, communicating with clients, and providing updates when and where appropriate and necessary. So it's a small, quick win in terms of processes for any law firm, and it's painless and it's cost effective. Doesn't require any significant investment, doesn't require any significant planning and development. It's something which I think we started beta testing it about 5 p.m. on a Friday evening, and we were using it from a Monday there onwards and haven't looked back. So some things can be implemented really, really quickly, which has significant benefits in terms of risk, significant benefits for productivity, and causes no pain for your team. And this is certainly one of those products out there which is fit for purpose in that regard. It's a demonstration of the collaboration which is required in the industry, which you're talking about, Travis, and it's key. If you don't collaborate with each other, other law firms with each other, with suppliers, then you're not going to get anywhere. And we collaborate a lot, as you'll know, as a guide to InfoTrack know, and other partners we have. And I think law firms should collaborate with each other as well. It's absolutely key. So some of the things we're trying to really push is inquiries. So we can do that online via portals. Again, it reduces noise, it makes it more efficient, and more importantly, more secure. So cybercrime is absolutely rife, and the fact law firms still rely heavily on email is a great concern. It's a vulnerability, one which we're all very familiar with, and we've hit brick walls sometimes with regard to other law firms. We're trying to use sophisticated online portals, which makes everyone's life easier and more secure, using InfoTrack's inquiries tool, and law firms don't want to engage. So collaboration needs to be not just with suppliers, but between law firms themselves, because obviously we're all there to try and do a job in difficult circumstances. The more we can rely on technology, the more we can rely on collaboration, the easier it will become. And not embracing change it's tough from our end, because obviously we embrace it so much. We like change, we like to try new things, we like to develop new processes and trying to move as many pinch points as possible. So collaboration is absolutely key.
Beautiful, thank you, Mike. Look, and I think the most important thing to mention here is what we built with InfoTrack. I think Annabelle, you'll be the first to say we've not, this is not overly innovative in terms of what we've delivered. It's basic services that we know law firms need to access every single day, just done through their trusted network and their trusted ecosystem. I think as we continue to go through this this journey of looking at collaboration, looking at new products and services, things will get more difficult. But I think now the first 4 or 5 products that we release are all relatively straightforward and things that should have happened years ago, to be fair. So I'm glad they're now accessible, and glad we made it quite simple and easy for people to access. But I'll hand over to Hafer now. For Hafer, any questions that we've been asked through the Q&A that we need to talk about?
Yeah, we've had a few questions from the audience, so I'm going to jump straight into it. One of the first questions that we have here is, can the forms and inquiries be bespoke to the law firm? So
in terms of the forms and inquiries, is that in relation to, so which part of the process, to be fair? So it might be one for Annabella in terms of you were talking about onboarding here, and
they haven't really specified, but I think it's probably in reference to the last session, so something that Annabella has spoken about.
Okay, sorry, I'm not quite sure what that one's in relation to. Maybe if the person who sent that question, if you could provide just a bit more clarification, then we can come back to that one.
Sure.
Oh, okay, client care letters. So that would be one for kind of our ECOS team. So what we can do is we can put you in touch with them and they can run through that with you.
Okay, another question we have here is, we use full LMS integration, but still have the daily emails chasing for updates on the LMS platform when already done. Is there a plan for this to stop?
Yeah, there is, absolutely. The next, so this is probably in relation to the charge registration side of things. The first iteration of the charge reg kind of integration is built and you guys are using that, but there are 2 or 3 other iterations in the pipeline, and we're testing some of them at the moment. These include things like us polling HMLR for direct data to stop you having update delay reasons, and turning those emails into notifications where things aren't being done. I think, if I'm being perfectly honest with people on this call, I think the way we chase things at LMS is a blunt instrument. We have a day 1, day 3, day 5, day 10 chaser, whatever that may be, and it's just a constant cycle of things, and that's something that we have to improve on, have to change. And I just signed off a PDD last week in terms of making that more sophisticated. So we're chasing when we know there's a problem, when something hasn't been done, rather than chasing based just on timings, things like that. So to answer your question, yes, those things are coming, and they shan't be far away.
And back to Annabella on the ECOS question. She's asking about the general inquiries as well.
Yeah, so, I think we'll reach out to you about those ECOS questions, because we have a dedicated team and they'll be able to help you with that. So we'll follow up with you after the webinar with those.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
The next question that we have here is, the Land Registry has a free application inquiry service which reports on the progress of a registration. Can LMS pull this information and only ask law firms to report every 30 days on transactions with problems?
Yeah. So absolutely, this is a similar question to what we had previously. So we've been testing the HMLR integration over the last probably 3 or 4 months now, to be fair, with one of our lenders. I think the way that the API pulls back in from HMLR and the data that's included with it, I would say there's still probably a few kinks that need to be worked out from HMLR's end, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's not a disrespect for them, they're going through the iterations of their journey. But once we feel that data is secure enough, safe enough, and accurate enough to be using, that'll be one of the iterations that we're planning for the charge reg side of things. So we are working with them to try and deliver that, and Annabella and the team in InfoTrack are part of that trial and that test as well. So we are trying to find ways to really stop you guys having to log in every 30 days and give us an update on things we should already know the answer to. The other thing I'll say about it, we are starting to see a reduction in turnaround times from HMLR. So I'm hoping that a combination of better technology and HMLR kind of catching back up on some of that stuff will start reducing all of these comms that you guys get and some of the the noise that we're creating for you. So it's definitely one of the things that keeps getting fed back to us. It's on our radar. We are trying to fix it. And we are trying to improve it.
Wonderful, thank you. Another question we have here is on the fees. Currently, we have to pay directly to LMS. I see that there is a £1 fee from InfoTrack. So is there any fee to LMS too? If we do searches or registration direct with HMLR, does that impact the use of the LMS website? Normally, we have to upload searches and registration. I see we have to pay fees for separate lawyer checker rather than the free check with LMS. If we don't want to use lawyer checker as they are known local firms, does this impact the LMS?
So if you don't want to use Confirmly or lawyer checker, that won't have an impact on the LMS integration. All of the integrations that we've built with LMS are very much kind of separate integrations. So you can use what you want to use. You don't have to use all of it. As for the fees for the other integrations, so mortgage offer integration, there's a fee of £1 plus that per offer document that's delivered through the system. The charge registration integration for OS and AP1, that is completely free. There's no fees at all associated with that. What was the other part of that question? Sorry.
The other part, so we've got here
HMLR, yeah, search direct with HMLR. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to link, say, an AP1 or an OS to LMS that haven't been done through InfoTrack. So those searches would need to be done through InfoTrack in order to benefit from that integration we have with LMS.
Yeah, just to add to that, all of the integrations are optional. If you like to send a mortgage offer but not charge reg, or the other way around, or you want to use Confirmly but not the front end stuff, it's completely up to yourself really about what you use. The £1 plus VAT charge is what pays for the integration and pays for the upkeep of the API, and can be charged to disbursement onto the end user, which is what most law firms tend to do. But they are all individual services. They all are optional. You don't have to use them, but if Mike was quite open on the call before that there's gained efficiency, and definitely the return on investment is there. In terms of Mike, I was gained the pound that you were charging for the mortgage offer distribution. I would hope that.
Oh, you're breaking up there, Travis.
The resource costs associated with. Sorry about that, Mike. I'm not sure if you can hear that question, but
I get the gist. But yeah, the point is there for the pound. The human resource saving is well more than £1, just in terms of the amount of time that would take for someone to do that. So you can make your team be more productive doing other things. So it's and as you said before, we do disperse it onto clients in terms of the sort of technology we use. We pass those on to clients directly, and that seems to be a common thing. A lot of law firms do that who have evolved over the years and use technology like we do. It's something which means we can work smarter, not harder, and enable a better client journey. At the same time, our clients are willing to pay for it.
Wonderful, thank you. Another question we have here is less of a question, more of submission. Future dev on the delay reason section of LMS is needed to reduce admin to satisfy the lenders. If the AP1 has been submitted via InfoTrack, that data should be fed back and auto select a delay reason, whether this be requisitions or no requisitions raised, etc. The volume of application for most firms makes this section a little admin heavy and time consuming. So that's a bit of feedback.
No, look, I think that's absolutely spot on. I think that's the next iteration of that charge reg service, is how we incorporate delay reasons into it. The one thing I will say is, there's still the responsibility, as you guys know, sits with the law firm to make sure that information is accurate and submitted. We can do everything we can via technology and try and support that as best we can. But yeah, we want to make sure that everyone's still aware that the technologies that are support as best we possibly can, and remove that administration. But when the lender needs to know something, they still need to know. So the best we can do to update them when we need to, rather than all the time every 30 days on stuff they shouldn't have to be updated on. And that's what we're trying to achieve. That's that smarter way of working. So the time spent is spent on stuff that actually needs attention rather than just general administration.
Wonderful, thank you. That is all the questions I believe we have from the Q&A box.
Perfect. And that question, just one more question from me to Mike then, more than anything else. So Mike, Babylon Johnson, strength to strength, what's the plans for 2023 in terms of technology, or what's the next thing that you guys want to try and achieve or create efficiency in?
I suppose it's refining some of the process we have already. To obviously collaborate further with everyone we possibly can, to try and remove some of the pinch points that we've identified and that we have. And as I say, collaboration involves law firms too with each other. We spend a lot of time actually having law firms coming to visit us to see how we do things. And at the same time, we actually learn from other law firms as well and other people in the industry. So it's that collaboration piece is really, really important. So for 2023, it's keep on collaborating, keep on talking, keep on trying new ways of working and supporting you guys in terms of product development, so we can be on your journey as well to obviously get the best out of technology. We believe that technology is a massive enabler for our people and our clients. And unless we're involved in terms of ensuring it's fit for purpose, then no one's going to gain the benefits from it. So that's why we so keenly beta test products and get involved in relation to it. And it's probably why I say in the digital conveyance maturity index, we score so highly, 3rd in the country overall and 2nd in the law firms up to 199 employees. So that's our journey, digital first. Client journey is important, and finding better ways to keep on improving and keep on evolving.
Great, thank you, Mike. And for the law firms on the call today, Mike and the guys at Bellham & Johnson are really, really helpful in terms of beta testing and new products and services, and give us some initial feedback before products hit to market. the more law firms involved in those discussions, the better. So if there's anybody on this call that wants to be involved in that beta, wants to be involved in that product development, either with us and InfoTrack or independently, then please do get in touch via LinkedIn or via after this call, because we'd like to hear from you. We want to make sure we're making the right decisions first time. And yeah, the more people involved in that process, the better. Collaboration with suppliers is very, very important to make sure we're delivering you guys products and services that are easy to adopt and easy to access and create efficiency. But unless we make sure we're building the right things in the right order, we're not going to be the best thing for you guys as law firms, the consumers of those products. So please, the more feedback, the better. And that's it from me, Hafer.
Wonderful, thank you so much. So I'm just going to say a big thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Travis and Annabella. I hope everyone found this session helpful and informative. If you do have any other questions about anything you've learned today, then please don't be afraid to contact us using the details on your screen. There you go. So once you use those details, or you reach out to your account manager, they'll be able to assist you on any of the questions that you might have. This session is being recorded and we'll send you a copy tomorrow so that you can refer back to it. And all that's left to say is thank you, everyone. Thank you, bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Travis.
No worries.
Bye.